You're right, guys, Shay here, only been bounced. Hope you guys are well. Well, it's been a while since I've sat on the chair here doing a video. Almost 3 weeks approximately. I was in South Africa for got back on Sunday. Today's Tuesday, the 3rd of March, and yeah, I got back on the Sunday a couple of days ago now. Had an amazing time. I actually shot a couple of videos while I was out there. And they were kind of like mid-innings and post-match reaction to the South Africa versus England. It was the second T20 at Kingsmead, so I went there. I arrived on the Friday, like 3 o'clock, touchdown Durban, and yeah, I was there at 6 o'clock at Kingsmead for the first ball. So yeah, great match that was. I might do some kind of like, I appreciate it's pretty a bit late in the day now, so you know the T20 series and the ODI series is finished. I watched live, or I watched the match as well. I was over there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I had a great time over there, so it was good. It was good. I'm wearing this hat, as you can see, this pink Proteas cap for my niece Anjali, who said to me, but if I dared to wear this cap on a video, she would subscribe. So Anjali, I'm expecting you to subscribe tomorrow. So I'm going to upload this and let you know. So yeah, anyway, I want to do a video on the, basically my reaction to the ODI squad that's been announced a couple of days ago for South Africa against India in the 3 ODIs that's scheduled to start later this month. I believe it's this latest month it is. And yeah, so I've read a lot online about a couple of things. I mean, one main thing is that JJ Smots has been included again. I think he's not really shown his full potential and what he can do, you know, in the games against Australia and England. I think, you know, it's a bit harsh. I think the reality is going to India, you know, subcontinent, he's offers a decent left arm option there as well. They've got no Shamsi. Shamsi's staying at home waiting the birth of his first child. But they've also included Mirage. But sorry, just back to Smots for a second. I mean, I just think like with Smots, I think he deserves a bit more of an opportunity. And I like a lot of these players. You know, and the series that have gone for South Africa at home, you know, with England, Australia, they're experimenting. You know, they're kind of chopping and changing. It's not like they're getting, you know, 5-6 games in a row. They're chopping and changing, just trying to find out the best kind of formula and players you can move forward with in this kind of new era for South African cricket. So yeah, I think that J Smots deserves to be there. I think give him the opportunity. You know, his 3 ODIs before they play. I think Sri Lanka has got a white ball and maybe test as well. I think it's 2 tests, and it's white ball cricket against Sri Lanka. And then you go to go to West Indies for definitely tests and 5 T20s. I think Sri Lanka might just be a white ball series. I've got to check that, as you always say. But yeah, I think JJ Smots deserves to stay in the party. You know, amongst all this kind of moaning about JJ Smots, no one's really talked about Pep Lequayo and his inclusion into the squad. I think he's quite lucky to be there, to be honest with you. Pretorius has not been picked. They've gone in delay for this one, and you know he's not really proven himself really in the last few series, has he? I mean, he's been dropped for the last couple of T20s against Australia. Played in the ODI a few days ago, the first one. Did okay, but hasn't really done that well, to be honest with you. It's you know, I think I mentioned before in previous videos, I'm a big fan of his. You know, he's done well for the Dolphins. He's sure he's got a lot of composure, a lot of confidence, but that being said, he's not really proven it for South Africa in the last 12 months or so. I thought he would have been kind of breakout star of the World Cup. He wasn't that. I backed my videos here, you know, prior to this series against England, Australia. Hasn't really done that well at all with bat or ball. Got a couple of first bowlers. One against England, the match I saw actually, and Kingsmead, and the one against Australia. I think he might have got run out as well. Maybe it was a run out actually, a second you kind of duck dismissal. But he hasn't really done that well, even with ball. So I think he's quite lucky to get on that plane, to be honest with you. George Linder is in. He played last year in the tests. Good pick, you know, like him. I do like him. Same for the Cobras a little bit. I think he's a good player. So I'm glad to see his inclusion. I think it's always only because Shamsi's been picked. You could argue you should pick either JJ Smots or Linder, but I guess, like I said, they might want to just see a bit more of Smots for the time being. Really happy Mirage been picked, because I think I'm sure I'll send videos here. They're missing a trick there. They missed a trick, the Proteas, with not picking him. He hasn't played an ODI for until recently, a few days ago. He hadn't played an ODI for 18 months or so. But he's a quality white ball bowler as well as test bowler. He's done really well for Dolphins in the Momentum Cup. So he deserves his call up, and he bowled well. He opened the bowling, didn't he? And he bowled well because Australia first up. So glad to see him there. I think he's someone for me who can very much challenge Shamsi for the opening. Sorry, for number one spinner spot. I don't see why not. He also can bat a little bit as well. More than Shamsi. So I'm not saying he's an all-round or anything, but he offers a little bit at 8 or 9 for the Proteas there. So glad to see him there. Faf is back. De Kock's off the lead now. Van der Dusen's there. Miller's there. It's overall a pretty good squad. I mean, Bjorn Hendricks is someone that I don't get why he's in there again. And there's someone else who's very lucky to be there. I think they've gone with Hendricks and gone, you know what? He's part of our kind of fast bowling group going forward. I think they've earmarked now Hendricks for that spot. I mean, he's done okay. So 5 against England. He played limited, only a few white ball games against England and Australia. In fact, didn't even play against Australia. I don't think he was even in the T20 squad. But he played, I think, 1 or 2 games against England. No great shakes. I think he's, just as someone that's been kind of carved out and said, you know what, we're going to persevere with Hendricks and see where it takes us. To me, he's just another kind of similar to Wayne Parnell. I'm not saying this because he's left-arm bowler, but it's just like, I don't think he has that much control with the ball, just like Wayne Parnell was. He's a bit zippy, don't get me wrong, and he's got a slightly better, I think, first-class record than Wayne Parnell did. But I just don't really rate him that highly. I think there's better people. I mean, Andrew Berger is someone that I'm a little bit looking at. Dupavillon for Dolphins. I'm a bit biased, I guess, but Dupavillon's done pretty well. Top of my head, I mean, Magala, if he was, fitter, Magala would be ahead of Hendricks to me, no doubt about it. I'm picking Magala ahead of him. Should I think of anyone else? Titans have got, it's that guy now. Is it Gilliam? Who looks pretty handy. And there's no really else at Titans, I don't think, at the moment. There's no really stands out, to be honest with you, but so from the guys that I've already mentioned. But yes, I think Hendricks is very lucky to be on there. I think Pep McQuire and Hendricks are very lucky to be on that plane. But we'll see how that goes anyway. I just don't think Pep McQuire, for example, will be that effective on those wickets. Hendricks maybe be able to move it, get a bit of, if they ball first. I'm not sure the timing of the games, but get kind of early morning, cut. I'm not sure on the times of the game, so maybe you can get some kind of early movements if they're bowling first up. He might be a bit of a handful, but I just think that I don't think he's going to be that effective out there enough to warrant a place in that squad. But I guess time will tell. Anyway, good to see Faf back, and he needs some experience. I mean, I say good to see Faf back. I mean, I think just because they need some experience in the lineup. That being said, I don't really see the point anymore. I think in 3 years' time, the World Cup is going to be happening, and he's not going to be around as guaranteed. He's 35 now. He's going to be 38 then. He's not going to be around, is he? So they might have been able to kind of bring someone else in, maybe a left field pick. Saraloia, Rolofson, guys are doing well. Because they need to look, if Dolphins are doing so well at the top of the table in the Momentum Cup, they should be seeing, who's actually doing well for them. They picked Mirage out, but you could have gone a bit left field and picked Saraloia or Rolofson and said, okay, you've done well in domestic level, maybe you deserve a call-up. Even as a spare batsman for now, But it's a nice fast name in there just for kind of experience. But I think that, with real foresight, he shouldn't be on the plane either. To completely honest, I think he should just be now playing T20s, really. Maybe Test as well, fair enough, but I think just T20s in terms of white ball cricket. No Rabada, unfortunately. He's injured, which is a shame. So Pamela's going. Ngidi there. I think he's done a good job, Ngidi, over the last few matches. So I'm glad to see he's still fit and he's playing back-to-back games pretty much. He's on the plane. And I think they'll be quite competitive to a certain extent. I said they'll probably tinker around with the options, Boucher will. But I see India winning the series. Hopefully South Africa can nick one, and maybe be a 2-1 loss, be okay. 3-0 if they get battered in all 3 matches, that'd be disappointing. But I think they picked a squad to try and be competitive. It's not like some kind of experimental squad. Sorry, I think it's a squad that's there to to be competitive and hopefully win the series. I guess only time will tell. Anyway, obviously I'll be covering that as and when the series starts. So yeah, that's it from me, guys, in this video. If you like the content, please do like the video, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.